class. Today I want to talk about how to unpack your cello and set it up so that you can play. Okay, so let's start with unpacking it from the case. My case is broken so it doesn't zip up, but that's okay, I can still show you. Okay, so you always want to lay your cello down on a flat surface. I'm using a table. You could put it on the floor too, but you have to be super careful that nobody bumps into it or trips over it. Okay, so actually never leave your cello on the floor unattended. If you ever leave your cello on the floor, you need to lay it like this on its side. That way people can see it easily. But I would suggest don't leave it anywhere where people might bump into it accidentally. Okay, so if you have to leave it on the floor, leave it like this and out of the way. Okay, when you're taking out your cello, it needs to be flat like this. And you could tell easily it has a flat side and it kind of has like a bumpy side up here. So that's how I know that it's right side up. You never want it to lay your cello upside down like this because you'll ruin the parts of it. So never lay your cello down like this. Always the flat side on the bottom, okay? So next you'll unzip. If I had a zipper, I would zip this way. And then there's usually two. There's one on the back also, back here. I don't know if you can see, but you would zip back here too. Okay, so after you unzip your cello, you can lift the top and you need to use two hands. So one goes down here, holding down here. So you see I could lift my cello, which is one hand. So one hand goes down here. The other hand is gonna grab the neck. I don't know if you can see here, but this is the neck of the cello. Your other hand's gonna go under and grab the neck. So now I'm using two hands to grab my cello. And you're just gonna pull it out. Sometimes the top gets stuck, so you need to unstuck it. You'll pull it out, and there you go. Your cello's out and ready to go. And then next we'll talk about how to set up the cello so that you could play with it. Okay, so now let's set up our cello. So as you can see, my cello, when I'm not using my cello, I lay it on its side next to me, out of the way, so that nobody can bump into it. Okay, so the first thing you wanna do is pick up your cello, and I'm gonna grab it by the neck, and I'm gonna put it in front of me. You'll notice that I have a carpet on the floor because I have tile. It's better if you play on top of a carpet. So if your room has carpet, that's perfect. If you are on tile, I would move somewhere that has carpet. Otherwise your cello is gonna slip. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is make the cello higher because right now it's too low, so I won't be able to play on it. So if you look down here, this is called the end pin. We need to take the end pin out so that it's high enough for us to play. Now the goal is, you see these four things sticking out of the cello? These are called tuning pegs. They're called pegs or tuning pegs. This one needs to be behind your left ear when it's ready, and that's how you know you're ready to play. So it has to be like right here. Does that make sense? So I need to put the end pin out far enough to make this peg be right behind my ear. Now this cello is too small for me, so I won't be able to do it. But you should have the right size cello for you to be able to do that. I almost skipped ahead. So I'm gonna loosen the end pin by turning this knob. So now I can take it out. And you might need your parents' help for this. Sometimes the knobs are too hard to turn, so ask your parents if you need help. And then now I'm gonna take out the end pin. For me, I have to take it out all the way, because like I said, this instrument's too small for me. But for you, usually, if you put your hand if you stick out your hand like this and put these fingers down, usually if you take your end pin this long, starting, if you measure it like this, That's usually long enough for you, but sometimes you need to make it a little taller. So just mess with it. For me, I already know I need to take the whole thing out. So I'm gonna take the whole thing out. For you, it might be, it's probably different. You probably only need this much. You probably only need that much out. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so, like I said, this peg needs to be behind this ear. And if you look behind the cello, this part, the body of the cello, this part has to rest on my chest. So, oh, sorry. Make sure you're sitting up tall on the edge of your seat and your feet are firmly on the ground. Your cello is gonna go between your legs. You're not gonna squeeze it. It's just, your legs are just there for support. So your legs shouldn't be holding it up. The cello should be resting, this part of the cello should be resting on your chest. So I'm gonna put it between my legs. I'm gonna rest it on my chest. I'm gonna make sure this this peg is behind my ear. I might need to make it higher. Now, like I said, mine's not gonna be behind my ear because this cello is not my size. But for you, it should. And if it isn't, then we just get it as close as possible. Maybe it's gonna be next to your ear. If it can't be behind your ear, make sure it's next to your ear. Make sure you can touch it like this with your ear. And that means it's high enough for you to be able to play the notes with your left hand and to pluck with your right hand. And that's how you set up your cello. Now, it's gonna take a few times to practice this. The cello is kind of the more difficult instrument. So watch this video, maybe just rewind it a little bit and practice these steps a few times so that you get really comfortable holding out the cello. And sometimes it's gonna slip, so that's when maybe you stick out your leg a little bit more. You have to change a few things just to make sure your cello stays up. Like for me, I don't have to use my hands. My cello should be sitting up by itself against my chest, this peg next to my left ear. Okay, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Let me know. You could email me or send me, you can email me or send me a message through either Seesaw or Google Classroom. Okay, have a nice day, everybody.